This is our cold water pressure in the kitchen. This is where I fill up water for storage. Those are the things we have to fill up to flush the toilets.
So you can see the sediment from the data center. Wow, and that's just from the water coming out of your faucet?
Yeah. And this is what's in all the pipes.
Just the well itself is probably $20,000, and that's not counting any of the
All
faucets.
the replacement of the fixtures and faucets
just
and
the well.
toilets and the lines that come underneath the house. It's overwhelming because you really feel like you are up against this huge wall that you can't penetrate. There's nothing that you can do, and they don't care.
I'm here in Mansfield, Georgia, driving by Meta's new 2 million square foot data center facility. Facilities like this are being used to power things like ChatGPT and other AI tools that are becoming integrated into our daily life.
Data centers, going to be a very hot item.
This entire supercomputer is built to power Grok.
We see data centers as the most exciting asset class.
Meta is building a 2 gigawatt plus data center that is so large it would cover a significant part of Manhattan.
But data centers come with big costs. From light and noise pollution to the environmental impacts to the potential rising costs of energy bills. These facilities put extraordinary demand on the power grid and require entirely new infrastructure.
Oh my God.
They should be responsible for that, not us.
Search the internet for profits that Meta has made, Amazon, Microsoft. They can afford to pay for their own generation.
We came to Georgia to ask two questions. What's the true cost of the AI revolution, and who should be paying for it?
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone who taught me is true, and much respect to the Akim out there laboring in his work. Peace and salutation to the hopefully elect who are scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth at USA. Shalom. Yeah, so what you're looking at right here is pretty much a graph of all the world, data centers, which is a total of 11,800 currently. That's of course growing as these devils march towards the NWO or the fourth industrial revolution. Everything pretty much being interconnected with the AI, man. And as you see here, U.S. is leading the charge with 5,381 data centers. Second, you got Europe. Okay, and these are two Edomite-occupied territories, which consist of the Beast, the revival of the Roman Empire, okay, which is occupied by you Edomites, you so-called whites, man. Meanwhile, you got the rest of the world with like 1,469. So we see who's at the forefront of pushing forth this AI technology, man. Scripture says that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. If it's not so-called white man, then pretty much, hey, who is it? So yeah, I want to go into this article from Natural News entitled "The AI Data Center Wars Have Begun. Farms, water, and electricity is stripped from humans to power the machines." Because you got to understand, like, as these devils move forward with their plans, man, they have absolutely no need for you people like that. You got people crying out because the system's not treating them fair, but at the end of the day, the elites don't give a fuck. In fact, they want to deplete millions of you out there, man. Okay, and this is what we're crying out for. We're crying out until Yahweh Shema Shine to save us from the hands of these devils, because as the scriptures say, unless the Lord is short in those days, no flesh be saved. This man does not need life to forward his new world order or his kingdom of heaven, this artificial kingdom of heaven, man. Yeah, so again, the AI data center wars have begun. Farms, water, and electricity is stripped from humans to power the machines. All right. So we understand now, it makes sense now why they're buying up all the farmlands, because they need these things to occupy more data centers at the end of the day. But let's read some of this real quick. So the farms that once produced food for humans are being repurposed as land to build AI data centers and solar farms that produce no food at all. The water supplies that once ran your showers, dishwashers, and toilets are being redirected to AI data center cooling systems, leaving humans with water scarcity and little remaining irrigation for growing food. So the power grid that once supplied affordable energy to run your home computers, cook stoves, and lights is being redirected to power AI data center servers. So agentic AI is on the verge of replacing 80% of white-collar jobs. A few years later, AI robots will replace the vast majority of human labor. Meanwhile, humans in 34 U.S. states are about to be mailed nasal flu jabs for self-extermination at home. They shed toxic fragments for up to 28 days, infecting those around you, while potentially causing side effects like Bell's palsy, vomiting, and mitochondrial shutdown. So those most at risk from self-administered bioweapons are the elderly, the very people who are also costing the U.S. government the most in Social Security, Medicare, and pension benefits. Eliminating them gives the treasury a few more years of runaway before the inevitable debt default. So it says you are being exterminated and replaced. The era of humans as a measure of national strength is rapidly coming to an end. In its place is the era of machine intelligence, which needs no farms, no food for no and no food and no humans. It needs electricity and water, and it will take priority over humans' use of those resources. So we see how Esau is utilizing, basically your water supply and electricity and forwarding it into his AI data centers. And I think it's a report about that being a reason why electricity is going up. That's a real reason why. And that is going to pretty much double because it's being redirected to power these big AI data centers. So it says most humans lack the intelligence to recognize what's happening. There will be the easy ones for the machines to exterminate through controlled scarcity of food, water, and electricity. So the food supply infrastructure is being dismantled because machines don't need food, and the future has no plans for large human populations that need feeding. This is why Canada is nuking its own forests with glyphosate, rendering the land unusable for growing food. Damn, but perfectly sterilized for the use of data centers and machines. This nigga is deaf, man. It's also why Americans are being priced out of quality, nutritious food so that few people will be able to afford to eat anything other than nutritionally depleted ultra-processed foods, making them highly susceptible to the toxins engineered into DIY FLU jab extermination sprays. So we see why they're forwarding this GMO food, man, because ultimately, the more compromised our immune systems are, the easier it is for us to get sick and to die, man. So this devil right here, man, has to be taken down. All right, and that ain't nothing we didn't already know, but we see how they need, a smaller population to really forward their NWO, this AI technology. So it says the DIVOC jabs were merely an obedience test and a psyop dry run. The real Depop plan has been initiated now, and its goal is the rapid extermination of 100 to 200 million Americans, which will also reduce power grid demand by an estimated 1,500 terawatt hours, making that power available to AI data centers to power the tech race towards super intelligence. All right. So, hey, overall, if you are reading this, if you are a human reading this, understand that you are being exterminated, then replaced. All right, so yeah, this is what we have been exposed to, in the grand scheme of things. All right. Over here, Great Millstone, in which we know that at some point, as I was quoting before, unless the Lord came back, then this devil will completely kill off everything. There will be nothing left remaining, as he's destroying life to forward this artificial technology. So Mark 13, and verse, verse 19. So it says here, hey, for in those days shall be affliction. And this isn't a time when these devils come down with this great wrath. They're going to cause a man-made famine. They're going to strip away your livelihood. And you people going to be out there, losing it, man. Okay? It's going to be wars, pestilences, all for in this man's depopulation agenda. For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation, was the Most High created unto this time, and neither shall be. And except that the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shai had shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. You see, and this is the reason why we're hastening to get up out of here, man, because we know that life cannot continue. All right, there is no life in this current world with these devils at the top, man. All right, forcing forth death. So when you read Habakkuk 2 and verse 4, it says, behold, his soul, Esau, which is lifted up in pride, is not aright in him, man. See, because basically these devils want to alter or transcend the common course of nature. Everything that the Most High created, he wants to do away with it. You got transhumanism. He wants to merge human with machine. He wants to put a chip in you. See? So yeah, his soul, which is lifted up in pride, thinks that he's a God, is not aright in him. But the just shall live by his faith. We're going to live by, the faith in Yahweh by Shema Shai in these troubling times of affliction, as these devils try to forward the NWO. But, the end goal is that, as far as the society, is that we know that it's ultimately going to lead unto death. So we're not seeking to save our life here. So verse 5, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man. All right, wine represents philosophies. He's a proud man. All right, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. Okay, he can never really have enough, because hell, the grave, can never be filled. It says, and is as death. You see this? So Esau, who is forward in this NWO by the way of, this AI data center technology, is killing off everything. He needs everything pretty much to die off for that to be sustained. So he is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. So this is letting you know that these devils have to be, taken down by an outside source, that's able to accomplish this. And this is the reason why we need Yahweh Shai, who's going to literally destroy this man's inventions. Let's get this real quick. Yep, 2 Edges 13 in verse 37, it says, and this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations. This is a very wicked invention, this artificial intelligence. For their wicked life are fallen to the tempest, right? So, I didn't want to make this too long, but yeah, I just want to point out that fact, that this is where these devils are going with it, man. All right, the farm fields, the water supply is all being compromised. Okay, for this these data centers for this technology. All right, so all this shit needs to be destroyed. It needs to be a total restart, a total reboot of the world, man. All right, which is why we need Yahweh Shai. So, and with that, Lord willing, you were edified. Until next time, I say.